Welcome to Lust for Lists. I'm Lori Majewski, and you just heard Grammy nominees. The Cure 2026, they're up for 2 nominations, including one for Best Alternative Performance. For that song, we just heard Alone. I'm not alone. I'm in the studio with Roger O'Donnell, who is also a Grammy nominee with The Cure. Congratulations. Welcome.
Wow, thank you. It's a surprise, isn't it?
It is a surprise.
Because we're not really Grammy material, are we?
Well, The Cure have been nominated twice before for Blood Flowers and Wish.
I've got a medal for being nominated for Blood Flowers, which I wear around the house. I didn't know that.
Until you get your OBE.
Yeah, that'd be good. I didn't know they'd been nominated for Wish.
But it's been 22 years since the band has been nominated for a Grammy. How did you find out? How does it feel?
Reeves sent me a text.
Reeves Gabrel's your guitarist.
My buddy. So I was like, wow.
He was really proud because I retweeted him.
Yeah, he's proud. That's how I found out. I was shocked because I didn't even think about it. I don't think of that world, really.
And also, the album, Songs of a Lost World, is up for Best Alternative Album. And you were nominated for a Brit Award for Album of the Year. So across...
When did that come out?
That happened back in the end of the summer.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
You didn't even know? So these things really don't mean that much to you.
I don't really live in the rock world. I live pretty much an alternative existence.
Do you know what year it is?
Yeah, I know that because it was my birthday and a big one.
I know. Happy birthday. It's the
you.
First time I'm seeing you on the other side of
70, which seems a bit weird to say, but then we were just talking about David Bowie, and sadly David didn't make it to 70, so I think every day you have to be thankful, don't you? And besides, I don't feel that I'm 70. I think there must have been some error back in the day.
Well, you look incredible, and
Thanks.
you have a fantastic new solo album out. We're going to be talking about Roger O'Donnell's Projections, his latest solo record. But first, tell us about choosing this charming man.
I remember seeing the Smiths on Top of the Pops and him singing this song, and I was just like, what the hell is this? And just the line, I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a thing to wear, or whatever it is, just makes me laugh. I think that Morrissey's really developed and really matured as an artist, and I love his voice, and I love what he does now. Of course, with Orion Williams, a friend of mine, there was a film made that I invested in about Morrissey's early life, and I just think he's one of the British icons, and he's difficult, we all know that, and he's half the shows he doesn't turn up for, but he's very delicate,
He is. That movie, if you want to go see it, if you haven't seen it yet, England is Mine. Here's the Smiths on First Wave. The man right here is Roger O'Donnell. He is keyboardist, pianist. It's so great to have you back. We were worried for you, Roger.
Yeah, it was rough. I had diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, which was diagnosed in October 23, and then I had about 11 months of treatment, and here I am. I had a rock star doctor who was incredible. I had surgery, and then I had chemo, and then I had high-dose chemo to cross the blood-brain barrier, and then I had radiation treatment for a month, and it was all insane. It just went from, bad to worse, the treatment, and then it was all done, and then you're like, oh, I'm done. Then your brain starts asking you what just happened, and then you have to get therapy, which I'm still doing. One of the ways of getting through it is to do everything in the second person. So he goes through the treatment, and at the end of it, you've got to try and bring those two people together. And I think it's a form of denial. There's some key words that people in the business use, like survivor and warrior and all those kind of things. And I never thought of myself as that. But going through the therapy, I think it is okay to recognize yourself as a survivor because it is so traumatic.
Thank you for talking to us. Why don't we get to your first song?
Let's start laughing.
Your title track from Projections. I wondered if this solo album was a result of throwing yourself back into music.
Yeah, well, during treatment, I couldn't really go near any instruments or play or do anything to do with creativity. because my music's very emotional, and I was already at number 11 on the emotion scale, so anything else would just push me. If I saw a fluffy dog, I'd burst into tears. So I had to stay away from everything. And then when it was all over, I just felt like making music again. But I was determined it wasn't going to be a post-cancer or a post-treatment record. So it was really looking back at where I'd come from and looking where I was, everything I'd achieved, and where I wanted to go.
Name, Virginia Plain.
Roxy Music on First Wave. I'm Lori Majewski. This is Lust for Liz. Our theme this week, well, it's Roger O'Donnell. He is the keyboardist from The Cure. He's with me today. He chose that song.
Yeah, and the reason I chose that was because I remember seeing it on Top of the Pops. First of all, being blown away by what they look like. And then when Eno does that synth break in the middle, I'm like, okay, what's this all about? Because it was very early days of synthesizers. And it was very standout because the song basically stops and he plays this kind of octave arpeggio. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. So that has always stuck in my memory as the first time I really saw a synth played like musically.
We have a Cure song coming up next. I think with this last record, Songs of a Lost World, you struck this interesting combination of being fresh and awakening nostalgia in people.
Yeah, I said to Robert a few years ago, I said, we need to make one last record. And it needs to be the saddest, most darkest record that's ever been made. And he said, yeah. I think he was already thinking that. I'm not gonna suggest that it was my idea. He personally had gone through a lot of traumas with deaths in his family, and I think it was very much reflected where he was emotionally, that record. And it was true to The Cure, wasn't it?
And it is a dark world for the rest of us.
Yeah, if you choose to see it as dark. I mean, for me, it's pretty bright.
That's so beautiful.
Well, you know, that's one thing that you can say from going through a near-death experience.
All right, The Cure, Going Nowhere. Want to tell us anything about choosing this one?
I love the piano part on it. We used to play it live. I think we played it a few times. There's an excellent, I don't know if he's just a Twitter or Blue Sky person, or whether he's got a website. It's called Cure Stats, and he knows all of the statistics about every song. I read it recently, and he said, I played Just Like Heaven 634 times. I performed 18,900 Cure songs collectively.
Collectively.
And I was like, what the hell?
Oh, man. Here's to the next 634.
Oh, boy.
Let's go to The Cure now, Going Nowhere. Personal Jesus, Depeche Mode on First Wave. I'm Lori Majewski. This is Lust for Liz. And I've got Roger O'Donnell, keyboardist with The Cure. He's got a brand new solo album out. It's called Projections. I know you're friends with the Depeche Mode guys. And we lost Fletch. And I know how much that meant to you.
I love Fletch. You know, he would never talk about music. He was, the last time I saw him, he was like, how the hell do you play 3-hour shows without being able to go to the toilet? And that was what he was worried about.
I've always wondered myself.
Well, we do have a toilet on the side of the stage now. I limit my liquid input before a show.
We saw you in LA, and you had different types of fluids on the side of the stage because you had the flu.
Oh, yeah, that was awful. That was dreadful. I was so looking forward to playing LA. And then we play the Hollywood Bowl. Not only is it freezing cold, but I've got the worst virus that I've had in years. Once you recognise that we're not godlike, then it all falls apart, doesn't it? Once you recognise us as being human and mortal, then there's no longer that distance between us and the audience.
Well, the next band has a lot of mystique in the spirit of The Cure, Radiohead.
Yeah, I'm a recent convert to Radiohead, I have to say. I didn't really get it. And then a friend of mine, Bradley, we were in Lisbon and we'd played a festival the night before and they were playing the second night. He said, just come to the show. I'm like, okay, as long as there's a team of wild horses to drag me there, I'll be there. So we went. So he starts crying as soon as they start playing from the emotion. I'm standing there, I'm like, wow, I get it. You know, I don't know a lot of their work because I never really listened to it, but I really respect them. I respect what they do as musicians. And my keyboard tech, Russ, was their tech for years and years and years. We stole him, obviously. And he said they would turn up at the gig and want to set up all the gear differently every night because they, it's not just going on stage to them. It's about creating music, which is another approach to that kind of theatre thing. They're kind of more in that kind of jazz school, I guess, like improvising. But I love this song.
Well, here's Everything in Its Right Place by the band that went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the same year as The Cure.
They did.
Radiohead. Synthesizer Wizards Kraftwerk on First Wave, and I've got Wizards of Synthesizer and Piano with me right here, right now. Roger O'Donnell from The Cure.
I'm actually known as the Synthesist.
The Synthesist.
We have a T-shirt loosely based on the Exorcist poster. And instead of the Exorcist walking in with a bag, it's me playing a keyboard.
So we talked before about Eno, and you said, yeah, not really a big influence.
Yeah.
What about these guys?
Oh, yeah. If you play a synthesizer and you're not influenced by Kraftwerk, the, theatre, again, I look at how they approach a show. And that cold, mechanical, Germanic feel to the music. I mean, you couldn't ever call anything that came out of Germany warm and funky, could you? So it's pure synthesis, isn't it?
But your playing is quite warm.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm the opposite of that, I would say. I strive to make the synthesizer an organic sounding and emotional instrument. I don't want it to sound like Kraftwerk, but it's okay to love something and not want to sound like them.
Well, talking about warmth, I love your new record, Projections, your new solo record, and we're going to play a song from it right now. The first time I put it on, it made me remember that you are scoring movies now.
Yeah.
Is Projections your film score that's not for a film, that's for you?
It's difficult to think of music without visuals. So the visions are there. The problem is when you try and describe a vision or a visual with music. And I've done that before as well with a painting. I tried to describe a David Hockney painting as a suite of music for a chamber orchestra. I'd continually want to be trying to describe the sky. So I would go in the studio, I would sit down and I'd go, okay, sky. And I'd look at the picture and I'd start playing. And of course it wasn't the sky, was it? It was something else. But it's such an abstract approach to making music. But one thing that came out of the working with Darren is that I wrote one song that just wouldn't have existed without him.
I am so excited for next summer. You have all these European dates. Everybody listening wants to know, are you coming to visit us at some point here in North America?
There's every chance of it, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I hope you come back both to Lust for Lists and to North America. We want to see you. From Projections, let's hear Siren song. This is Roger O'Donnell. Roger, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
So glad that you're doing so well.
Thanks, Laurie.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.